Hi, so welcome. This is a course on how, well, not really a course, but a video on how to create professional looking labels using ChatGPT. You will need the pro version for this, but it's going to save you hours upon hours of time in Photoshop actually manipulating it to follow these steps. So say you need a label for some thing you're selling, supplements, some drink. So let's just go with, generate me a label for a caffeine supplement. Have it in a, there you go. So the main issue you wind up with is it will generate you an image of the label on, like this, on the bottle itself. And no matter how many times you ask it, please unwrap this label, no matter how many times you ask it to unwrap the label for you and have it flat, it simply absolutely sucks at doing so. And yeah, so one thing that I found to use for this is once you generate a label that you like, what you're gonna do, you're gonna click on it. It's kind of on the screen. You go here to tools, and you're just gonna highlight with the select tool all the parts of the label that you don't want to keep, like this, and then go down like that. Then you paste this. Give me the appearance of a label that has been unwrapped. The design should be clean, have detailed lines. We're going to submit that. And basically, you just keep regenerating the response until it gives you the label unwrapped with the image selected the way it is. And one of the other issues that you wind up with is, as you can see here, it adds the glare onto it right here, which is super annoying when you take it into Photoshop because you don't want that to necessarily be there. So it gave me another image of it. I can either regenerate, I'm just going to regenerate this image, and we're just going to keep going through this process until we get something that we like. So I'm going to pause it right here and then start the video back up when I have an unwrapped label to show you how to necessarily go forward. Okay, here we go. It's finally given us something that is starting to look unwrapped like here. So we're going to select the select tool again, increase the size of it, and then we're going to go through and we're going to highlight parts of it like this. The bottom, we just go straight across right there, and then put the same prompt back in, and we're just going to keep doing this until it generates a full label. And from the time I stopped the video to I started again, I probably had it generate 5 times. But you can basically either have it keep regenerating the same prompt by hitting, I'll show you on this image right here, you just keep hitting this little redo button right there, or you can take the new image and re-highlight. So look at this. We're already starting to get it unwrapped the way it is. And we can just continue this process. And it's kind of slow and somewhat repetitive and can take a while for some designs. But trust me when I say a minute spent doing this is going to save you about an hour in Photoshop unless you're really, really good at it. So we're just going to keep going through this process right here and getting the new images. Okay, that's decently good. And then the next thing we're going to do is address these glare areas. So we're going to highlight that and make this a little bit smaller. Come through, highlight right there. Highlight this right there and there, and then the new prompt we're going to give it is this one. And we're going to just keep submitting that, highlighting the sections of the image that we don't necessarily like until it generates one that we do enjoy. And I do find it beneficial to get rid of these little areas right here so you don't have to necessarily Photoshop them out later, especially when they have a gradient to the shading. If you like that gradient, necessarily matching that in Photoshop takes more time and can be a pain in the butt. So I don't really like this image, and I think we took a step backwards, so I'm just going to have it regenerate the whole thing for me. And like the previous response, I'm going to pause it here, and then, unless this one's just amazing, well, actually, this is pretty good. What we're going to do here is we're just going to come back, take the select tool, get rid of this thing right there. I don't know what's going on the bottom of the screen. And we're just going to submit it. And try to keep it within ChatGPT because it is, Photoshop I find is absolutely horrible at matching the image or doing refill generation for patterned images, complex images. It's good for like photoshopping your images from vacation, removing people from the background, but when it comes to like keeping the pattern going within a label, it's absolutely horrible for it. And then another thing we're going to address a little bit later is, as you can see, well, my mouse is really big right now, but right here on the side, this shading is different color than this shading, and that would be a pain in the butt to address in Photoshop, but we can simply address that within ChatGPT itself. So the whole goal here is to minimize the amount of time we actually have to spend in photoshopping stuff, and kind of just keep having AI do what we want it to do. So for some reason my computer, the prompt doesn't show, so I'm just going to refresh the tab, which is something that happens sometimes. Where is my artwork? Okay, we're just going to regenerate it. These are all things that you have to deal with in ChatGPT, but it does save you lots of time in Photoshop, and you can come up with really amazing artwork that you would need to pay a professional boatloads of money to actually do. And it gives you more of a seat in the creative chair to rapidly pull out ideas. Oh, look at this, look at this. This is pretty damn good. Right here, unwrapped. Now, what we want to do is address this shading issue right here. And it does help if you're more accurate with the line. And I do recommend doing this on a computer where you can use a mouse, because you're going to be pretty much trash doing it with your finger. So we're also going to remove these little side sections right here. Keep the lightning, put in the same prompt. And it's very repetitive, but it saves you so much time. Because one of my labels I had to do for a company, I had to Photoshop the shading of the colors didn't exactly match, and I really wanted to, so I was Photoshopping it, and it took so long to actually do it. And yes, I'm not that good at Photoshop, but look at that. Look, colors matching, pure caffeine. You know what we might do right here? We might address the little bit of blue right there, and then just have it regenerate that. And then in the side right here and right here, you just put the, right here usually goes the information, like the manufacturing facility, the what's not in the supplement, and some information about the company. And then over here you're gonna put the nutrition label facts, which is what ingredients are in it. Look at this thing is coming out really well. So you just kind of keep doing this process and you get the gist of it. But the next step for what you want to do is take it to something like, if I can bring it up on the screen, right here, Upscaly. So we would download this to the computer, open Upscaly, see which one of my many windows that's going to pop up in, and then see, where's it popping up? Give me 2 seconds to adjust my screen. Here we go. So we're going to take this image now into upscale it. This is a free resource that you can use. You just download it. It's open source. And I'm going to hit select the model. Digital art is the one you want to go with. Double upscale. So what this is going to do is it's going to turn this image from like 1080 all the way up to like, I'm just going to show it. It is absolutely insane how well this does at increasing it, and it's AI, but it does take a little bit while. It takes a little while. I don't recommend using the batch upscale. Plus, that only allows you to 4x it right now because we're double scaling. We're 16xing the pixel density. Yeah, right here. We're going from 1024 to 16,000 pixels. And this is going to give you a lot more selection and a lot finer control over the image once you get it into Photoshop. And we're just going to hit upscale, and it's going to take a little bit of a while. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to show you the results at the end. But this process is going to save you so much time, and you can just copy the same prompts I use. Okay, here we go. This is only the ×4 because it takes about an hour for my computer to do the ×16, and I'm running this on an i5 Intel chip. But we have the before and after, and I don't know how well this comes across on the screen because I'm filming in 480 and 1080, but I do have an easier way for you to compare this. And here we go. This is the image before, and this is the image after. As we can see, it's a lot sharper here, and you get more detail and more sharpness on the ×16 image, but I don't want to necessarily have a computer run for a long time to do that. Some tips here: if you have a computer, a spare one that you don't use that often, running programs like this on it are absolutely amazing. I run all my video editing on a secondary computer, so I can just have that running in the background once I export it, because it takes a while for everything to actually get done, and I don't want to be holding myself up. Some other tips: when you import this into Photoshop, you want to use cayenne, magenta, cayenne, magenta, and something else. But don't use RGB. Use CYM something. And that I'm just going to find the exact thing instead of giving you half advice. So I found it. It's do not use RGB, use CMYK, and this is what they're going to actually use in the style of it for printing. RGB doesn't really work, and these are talking about the color spectrums. So RGB is red, blue, green. Sorry, red, green, blue. Wow. RGB. Okay, brain fart. It's actually pretty late at night while I'm filming this. Anyways, so that's cayenne, magenta, yellow, and key. But that is the one that you want to use, and you can just do that in the defaults for Photoshop. And some other advice would be, so when you're back in ChatGPT, when you're generating the images and you have it, I'm going to pause it and bring that up. Well, actually close that tab. But if you go back to the beginning of the video, when I first generated the image of the label on the bottle itself, the first actual image it gave me, you want to keep generating images like that until you find one that you like. So it's a lot quicker to generate 1,000 images, 100 images, and find a label design that you actually like, and then go through and do all these steps to it, because it's a lot of image generation, and you're going to use through your credits because you only have a certain number of image generation credits each day with the Pro plan. So basically go wide in terms of testing out a bunch of different things, and then narrow in on one single label for what you actually want to flatten out, remove the glare, go into detail, and then upscale, because this process does take time and it's going to save you a lot of work doing that way. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful and interesting. For other business advice videos, please check out my channel. I talk about a lot of things for time productivity and time management. I also have a lot of other advice on this channel, and if you enjoyed this and it helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Peace out.